Good morning. Welcome to Class Over Coffee. Grab your beverage. Let's get started. Today we are going to be talking about incorporating source material into your writing in three ways: providing summaries, paraphrase, and direct quotation. And then we're going to talk about how you can cite them in text using MLA or APA style. Just a quick note, if you are trying to choose between MLA and APA style, MLA is typically used in more creative careers, writers, teachers, things like that. Sometimes media, although they have their own style. APA is typically used by healthcare professionals, science, in the sciences, business, things like that. So depending on the career that you're looking to get into, that might help you choose whether you want to use MLA or APA. One is not really easier than the other. They're just a little bit different. So choose one and stick with it, and that way you can learn it and be consistent. All right, so I've got a sample text here, just a quick paragraph that I actually wrote with the help of ChatGPT, and we're going to use this as a sample. So we've got our paragraph. The first thing we're going to do, and we're going to start with APA format here, is provide a summary. A summary means you are telling us generally what the article is about. So you might be using that as a way to present an argument. So according to this article, the swift progress of AI technologies has greatly impacted many sectors, but also brings ethical concerns that need to be addressed. Okay, so you're kind of giving a broad overview. You're not sharing really specific facts or statistics. You're just talking generally about what that source is about. When you do that, you do need to use an in-text citation. A couple of notes about those. In-text citations always, whether it's APA or MLA, go inside the sentence, right? So your punctuation goes after the parentheses. It goes at the end of the sentence. And then in APA, you will use the author's last name, a comma, a space, and then the year of publication, if you know it. If you don't know it for some reason, just put the author. If there is no author, you're going to use the title. Now, sometimes articles have long titles. You don't need to put the entire long article title in here. What you will do instead is use an abbreviated version of it. So let's say this article was called The Rapid Development of Artificial Intelligence Technologies. That would be too long. So you might just say Development of AI. And you'll put that in quotation marks in place of the author if you don't have one. It just needs to be an abbreviated enough version that when someone goes back and looks at your references page, they can see which source you were talking about. Okay, the second thing we do is paraphrase. This is when you take a more specific piece of information from the source and you cite it, but you rephrase it into your own words. It does not mean that you only change one or two words, or you, instead of 21%, you write out 21%. That's not what we're talking about here. You need to actually take the piece of information and rework it so that it sounds like you, okay? So, for example, so if you take a look at this sample text, it says, AI technologies have significantly transformed various industries. And in the paraphrase, it says, the quick advancement of AI has altered multiple industries, right? So we're saying the same thing in slightly different words, yet it also introduced ethical issues. And up here it says, also raises ethical concerns, including issues of bias, blah, blah, blah. So you can see we're taking it, we're shortening it, and we're making it into our own words, and including the same in-text citation at the end of the sentence. Paraphrases are usually used for things like data or results of a study, or you wanted to say that there was a list of all of the various results. We found that this group had this result, this group had this result, and you wanted to just kind of say that more quickly, or you wanted to only point out one of the results, you could do that through a paraphrase. A direct quotation is what it sounds like when you take a specific piece of information and you put quotes around it and use it exactly word for word. You do need to make sure it is word for word if you have quotation marks around it. And you also want to really use direct quotations sparingly. So that they should be used for really powerful pieces of information, things that people say that you just can't rephrase, things that, powerful quotes from other people, or really powerful statistics that you just can't say it any better. So make sure you kind of save those. Those are kind of your like secret weapon, let's say. You can typically summarize and paraphrase, and then when you really want to like pack a punch or make a really strong point, throw in a direct quotation. You're going to do the same thing in terms of your in-text citation, except that you're going to also include a page number. That is only necessary in APA style for direct quotations. All right. If there is no page number, if it's a digital article and there are no pages, then that's fine. Just leave it out. In some cases, you may need to write a line number or a paragraph number, but we're not going to worry about that right now. That you might see down the road when you get more involved in research. So author, comma, year, comma, a P, and a period. This is really specific. I know it's weird, but style guides get really specific here. A P, a period, and then the number. All right, so taking the same text and looking at MLA format. So there are a few differences with MLA. The first being, in an in-text citation, you're going to use the author's last name just like you did for APA. You are not going to include a comma. For whatever reason, MLA format does not like commas here. So you're just going to have a space, and then instead of the year of publication, you're going to put a page number if you have it. So the page number in MLA goes for summaries, paraphrases, and direct quotations. And in APA, it's just used for direct quotations. The reason for that is that, like I said, MLA is typically used in more creative roles, writers, literature, analysis, things like that. And so you're looking at a larger text. And so the most important thing is knowing where you got the information in that text. APA style is more used in sciences. And so in that case, they're looking at shorter pieces like articles and studies. And they really want to know when the information was presented, because that's going to be really important when you're looking at something like science, right? If you want to know how current the research is, that will help you understand whether it's a credible source. And so that's why APA focuses on years and MLA focuses on pages or where the information is located. Same thing with paraphrase and direct quotation for MLA. You're going to do it the same way. Taking information, making it shorter, making it in your own words, or directly quoting it word for word with the same type of information. MLA in-text citations look the same regardless of whether you're doing a paraphrase, direct quotation, or summary, author, page number. If you don't have a page number in MLA, try to do a paragraph or a line number if you can. Sometimes you'll read like a poem and it will have lines marked. If none of that's available, you don't need to worry about it too much, at least in this class. But in future classes or for some other instructors in some other cases, you may need to include like a paragraph or a line number, especially if your text is something long like the Canterbury Tales, which is an incredibly long poem that may or may not have page numbers depending on where you're reading it. If it's printed, it will, but if it's online, it may not. So just be careful about that. Make sure you understand what is expected of you there. But when you can put a page number, you definitely want to do that for MLA. Just a quick rundown here at the bottom of what in-text citations again look like. Author's last name, year of publication, inside the sentence, so the period goes after your citation. If you're not sure if something should be cited, go ahead and cite it. You're better off oversighting than underciting. And so you don't want to cite every sentence, of course, but if you're taking something and the information, if you're writing something that came directly from your source, whether it's in the source's words or not, there's a good chance you should probably cite it. You also don't need to cite after every single sentence. So if you've got a paraphrase or a summary of an article that you're putting into your text, and it's 3 or 4 sentences long, you can cite at the end of that. Okay, you don't need to cite after every single sentence. The other thing I want to point out regarding direct quotations is that if you're quoting something longer, like more than 3 lines, there's a different formatting structure that you need to use, slightly different for APA and MLA. I'm going to put some resources at the end of this video that you can use if you're going to do that, so you make sure that you do it correctly. But I don't recommend typically citing that much. When you're using a direct quotation, like I said, it should be a really powerful piece of information that you can't restate in your own words, and try to keep it shorter than the 3 lines because most of the text should be your words, not someone else's. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. Enjoy your coffee. Have a great day.